Why is it important to be on Twitter for esports? Well, first of all, everyone, why is it important to be on Twitter? Everyone is freaking on Twitter and esports. I think it just makes sense because Twitter is a place where conversations happen. Twitter is a really, really quick way to put out memes and to digest content. And it just so happens that a lot of the pros in the scene and a lot of the personalities in the scene are on Twitter. So therefore, to follow what they're talking about, to follow what they want to say, to follow the content that they put out, you have to be on Twitter. And there's so much stuff on Twitter. You know, you have something like YouTube where it's very one-sided, especially if a presence is big. They're not necessarily on YouTube. You can engage on comments, but it's not really a place for engagement and conversations. Twitter is like the water cooler of the internet, right? That's why I think Twitter is so important for esports, because esports lives on Twitter, right? Really, really simple. So it's kind of weird, but it's important to show you have a following. If you actually have lots of followers, it just gives you clout. It gives you social proof that you are in the scene and people like follow you for a reason. So if I see someone, for example, that's applying for a job like as an editor and they have a lot of followers, I'm like, oh gosh, this person must be like more expensive, or he must be a really good editor. You know, that's what just ends up happening. If we get a social media manager that has lots of followers and they're applying for a social media job, then I'm gonna be like, whoa, they know how to use Twitter. They know how to use whatever because they've obviously gotten followers. That's the first impressions, and that's what people look at when they're looking at your Twitter profile, Twitter page, Twitter bio, Twitter followers. So that's why it's like, yes, it gives you more clout in the esports scene if you're on Twitter, active, and have followers. So 3 things to do to grow your brand on Twitter. So I would say the first thing is brand yourself. Maybe it would be grow your following. So you want to brand yourself, you want to have conversations, and you want to create content, right? Let's talk about the first one, brand yourself. So this is stuff like your bio, your profile pic, your links, pinned tweets, even your feed. I mean, even your location and your birthday, I guess. But your header. These are the things that you can do to brand yourself. And like this is where I think it's fine to have a personal account where you tweet out things like my dog photos, right? Where is it? Like I can tweet this stuff up, not that one. I can like tweet this stuff out. And people like it anyway. I'm not going to tweet out things that like don't make sense or for my brand. At least I try to, right? I don't do as many drunk tweets anymore. I'm also not getting drunk as much as I was in college. So yeah, let's talk about your profile pic. I don't just actually have a profile pic. I mean, obviously it's great if you have a face, especially if you're thinking about like what esports people are going to be looking at, right? If I engage with Team Liquid's social media head of social media and I'm like trying to get a social media job and I'm trying to get in front of their faces, like if I associate a face that they might recognize when they see it at tailgate, those kind of things, I think always having a personal picture is good. Yeah, no anime waifus. But if you're trying to get into like a anime community or you're trying to be the anime person, like I think that's okay. You know, you have people like Yasu, like this guy. You know, he has, I mean, it's a cartoon version of Wukong. And you have other people that do this, but that's their brand. Their brand is now that photo. It's not their face. It's like a personality. It's an avatar, right? I don't think it's super, super important, but you definitely don't want to have just the default Twitter thing, the Twitter egg, which doesn't exist anymore. But I think that's really important, right? The header, I've seen a lot of headers that don't matter. I mean, mine, like it's a statement that I'm making, right? But before, I think I had like a sunset. Just make it look nice. I wanted something there. It would be really nice to have something like since I'm with Golden Guardians, it'd be nice to have something like this. I could do something like with my YouTube channel that could give a little more information. But pretty much like first thing they see is like, if I go to a random person's Twitter, like I want to know who they are, right? I clicked on their profile for a reason. I want to go to something that got lots of engagement, right? Let's see this person. If I put out this tweet and I'm like, oh, who is OP BLM fan? Oh, okay, this person is actually League of Legends head coach. That's cool. And I know about this person, right? Let's see, if I go down, who's this? Okay. This is some guy trying to be funny with his own personal account, but I don't know who this is, right? So if for some reason this guy tried to make his shot in getting a job or a network, like it just doesn't give me any understanding of who this person is. So am I going to actually like follow this person? Am I going to actually interact with this person? At least this person, I'm like, oh, he's an artist. That's cool. And then I can scroll down. I'm like, oh, look at all the art he did. That's really cool. But yeah, I would say the next really important thing is the bio, because this is where you can say who you are, what you're all about. And also the biggest thing is to make it searchable, right? If I want to make sure that people can find me when they search Golden Guardians, I have to put that in there. And putting the @ really helps too. So if I put, let's see, if I search @Golden Guardians, let's see what actually happens. And search people, do I pop up? I wonder if I don't pop up because it's me, right? So anyone that's that has @Golden Guardians in their bio, even if it's like a fan that says like, oh, @Golden Guardians is my favorite team, they should pop up in this stuff. So let's say I like want to get a job at Team Liquid, right? And I want to start like finding all the people, or I want to network, maybe not a job. I want to network. These are the people that I can start following, right? Shoutcaster, he did, and then this is also where you can kind of flex too. If you've done work before, like Wormlex, I'm going to assume that I can go to your Twitter profile. For example, you can now put like editor for I Will Dominate, you know, or did Face Check Podcast, helps with Face Check Podcast, or even @Lola Podcast, all those kind of things. And then when people search those, or when they visit your website or visit your profile, they're like, oh, I know this. I know that. That's pretty cool. I'm going to follow this person. I mean, a lot of people follow me because I'm just associated with Golden Guardians. And then there's also the link here, right? You can only put one link. I think people have been putting their linked tree, which is like a link to all their social media. So it's a link to more links, which I think is cool, but I don't know. Making people click more than once is always tricky, right? If you have a 5-step process, a lot of people aren't going to get to that 5th step. So right now, my biggest push is my YouTube channel because I want to grow my YouTube channel. I care more about growing my YouTube channel than my Twitch channel right now. If I felt like I was going to go strong on Twitch streaming, then I would change that. If I wanted a website for my portfolio, I'd put that there. But this is right now the biggest ask I have. Maybe it should be my Discord because I don't have a link to my Discord anywhere. But right now, that's why I put the YouTube channel. So this link is really, really important. I think a lot of people link their Instagram account, which may or may not be important, but it's just like, hey, I am on Twitter and Instagram, so here's my Instagram account. Oh, the pin tweet. Pin tweet's super important too, because I don't think people use this, and I think a lot of people use it to pin like all their social media to just put more links, which could make sense too. But I like to use my pin tweet for just like the best content that I have to offer. And what happens is because I'm interacting all the time, and new people are visiting my profile, I always try to put my latest or my favorite video up on my pin tweet. So that's how I would say you brand yourself. Then after that, I would say, like you said, have conversations. I think this is really, really important. Twitter, like I keep saying, it's the water cooler of the internet. You don't just put up flyers at the water cooler. You talk to people, right? And I think this is what makes Twitter fun, using it. I don't know if you can hear my dog snorting, but just to kind of quickly go through it, I would say to have conversations, you need to find people to follow and engage with. And this can be really, really simple. Let's say you're an LCS fan. I don't know what Smite would be, but you could do #LCS, right? You search these hashtags and see who's talking, and you could search by top or maybe latest is probably best if you really want to just start talking to people. And these are just people in the scene. They're probably not going to be the big follower number people, but you can actually just start talking to these people and engaging with what they're saying, right? Especially like if the LCS playoffs is going on and you follow this and people are tweeting all the time, instead of just like tweeting out at the hashtag, what if you actually engage with these people and say something to them, right? I think that's really, really important. And then I think if you're trying to find the people that have the higher following, let's say this happened for me, and I get blasted with notifications now. I by chance saw her tweet out something, and I responded within the first minute of it. And because of that, I get tons of engagements because when people open up her tweet, which I can't find, they see my tweet first. Here it is. What happened to the LCS so far? And I was the first person to tweet, and I got 99 likes on this thing. Right? And then I tweeted this for Golden Guardians engagement as well. So eventually, if you do this with people and you talk to them, especially the big names, if you're one of the first people, you can see like how they probably can engage, right? And also what you could do is you could see Shock's tweets. Does she ever respond to any people that reply to her? Yeah, so then if you're trying to actually get engagement or make a connection with Shocks, it's probably not going to happen on Twitter right here. But if I go to someone like Azael, I see that he talks to a lot of people and he responds to people, and it's not just people with check marks, right? He responding to this person who has 44 followers, right? But what kind of stuff does he respond to? He might only respond to the people in the first 5 minutes, those kind of things. So I would really consider like how to get certain people's attentions that you're trying to make, right? So think about how you're going to engage with people and actually how to have conversations and to bring valuable insight or entertainment is like super, super helpful, right? And one thing to do is don't spam people. People notice when you just reply to every single one of their tweets, just like when you're on back in the day on Facebook at least, or I guess more relevant is Instagram. You're on Instagram and then you see your ex just liked all your photos for the last year. Like that's what spamming someone's Twitter profile is like, where it's like, wow, that feels really weird and desperate. So don't do that either. Last thing, create content. And this is probably the hardest thing because it requires the most work, right? I think it's important. What happens is that when I go to someone's feed, I don't want to just see live on Twitch, live on Twitch, live on Twitch, live on Twitch. Thank you for coming to Twitch, live on Twitch. Thank you for coming to my Twitch, live on Twitch. Hey, YouTube video, YouTube video, YouTube video, YouTube video. This is like really, really obnoxious. And I'm like, oh, this person doesn't use Twitter. They just use it because they were told that you need to be on Twitter to grow your Twitch channel. You need to be on Twitter to grow your YouTube channel. You need to be on Twitter to grow your brand. But they're not actually bringing anything of value into the scene, right? But putting up like these random memes, putting up like, I don't know, like even quote retweeting people and giving your context or input into it. Those are all things that like are brought into the internet that could potentially bring value to someone. And value doesn't have to be educational. It can be entertaining. It could be humorous. It could be inspirational. Pokemon even just tweets out like, hey, just know you're a beautiful person today, blah, blah, blah. Like this one apparently didn't provide any value and no one cared about it. I thought this was really funny, but that's okay. It could have been timing, whatever. But either way, if you're not putting anything out there, then no one's going to care about your feed. So I would even say like, if I'm trying to be a coach or analyst, like maybe what I could be doing is tweeting out like, as the game is going on, oh my gosh, did you see the spacing of FBI in that last team fight, and a screenshot and like drawings on it in paint to just show that, like providing something to the internet for people to talk about that provides more value to the internet. Like those things are really, really important. But obviously it's harder. So I would say think about all the features that Twitter has and figure out how to make stuff like that. So that's text, that's photos, that's GIFs, that's videos, that's polls, retweets, and quote retweets. And I might be missing some. But you can see that here, right? You can just put something text. You could link a video or a image. You could go to Giphy and just put like random things out there. You can, this is the polls. It's like hot dog, a sandwich. Yes. No. 2 hours, 0 days. And you can post that. Those kind of things. I mentioned, think about the value you can provide. And this stuff is higher effort than just tweeting or responding. And again, like this create content doesn't have to, you don't have to see yourself as like this, oh, that's a content creator, that's really difficult, right? It can be really simple stuff. Just think about what you have to provide. You know, you have friends for a reason, because you say certain things or you talk about certain things or you have certain history or insight and interesting things about you. So just figure out what those are, right? And then you just figure out what niche that belongs in. If you're really thinking about like trying to grow your Twitter brand for esports, start really figuring out like what do esports people want to see. And I think the big thing here, if you want to make like really good content, quote unquote content for Twitter, like you got to think about what people are going to engage with. And the coveted thing is like, how do you get that retweet? And this is like exactly what I think about when I do the Golden Guardians meme stuff. I try to think, or I should talk about this first. What people first think about is that their feed is this precious place where this represents who they are. So if I want people to think I'm funny, I'm going to retweet things that I think are funny, so other people will be like, wow, Sam always is tweeting funny stuff and retweeting funny stuff that I missed, right? So when I think about, I'll talk about the last one, which is the stick bug video. One, I thought it could have a chance to go viral because TSM's attached to it. But also, where are you? I knew that people want to share this because people want to stick bug other people, right? And it got 140 retweets, which is kind of crazy. See this ... This guy's also trying to stick bug people. If you guys don't know what stick bugging is, I guess I should show this first.
Just missing the chain. FBI gets quickly healed back up by Closer.
I don't find it funny anymore. I've watched this way too many times. I don't actually know if it's funny. Enough people thought it was funny. But it's pretty much like just rickrolling people, right? And that's the thing that the internet has been doing since the beginning of the internet. And people are tagging their friends in it. Yep, there's another tag. It sucks that that shit like this is still in pro play. This guy's trying to bait his friends. I don't know what this says in Turkish. This guy liked it. This person didn't know what it is, but he loves it anyway, right? So all of these people are latching onto this because they want to put it on their feed. They want to make people laugh, their followers laugh. So if you can think about what other people want to put on their feed, that's important because people want to feel important. So when I think about like the top echelon of engaging content, I always try to think like, what do people want on their feed? Because that represents what they want to be thought of as well. Okay, so I think the last things I want to talk about are some tools that you can use. I use this thing called Tweetdeck. My Tweetdeck kind of probably looks crazy compared to other people's because I use this for work. You can create different columns. But the powerful thing about this is if you're really trying to get into the conversation and start talking to people, you can create lists where, for example, one of the lists that I created is with all the GG people. So this is all the players. This is the Twitter account. This is my coworkers, coaches, competitive staff. So then I can always see like what people are talking about, right? What our players are talking about, stay up to date with news, those kind of things. So let's say I was trying to get a job, thinking about like 6 months from now, I really want to network with Team Liquid people. Then I'd create a Team Liquid list, and then I'd like follow that and always be chatting away, like responding to whatever. So like not Ian Sands, every time he says something, I comment about like, oh, how much I love his videos on YouTube, and just engage with him so that like once a job opens for video editing 6 months from now, I can apply to that, and then not Ian Sams will be like, oh, I recognize this guy Sam, like he sent me that video once, or he did that thing, or whatever. And another thing I do is I have this list which is just search for Golden Guardians, and this is literally like everyone talking about Golden Guardians. If anyone is responding to anything that says Golden Guardians in it, this is the list. And this was going crazy during the TSM game, but this is where I can see what people are talking about with Golden Guardians. This is where I can see people like talking positively, and then I can so okay, I love Golden Guardians, but them upsetting Team Liquid doesn't seem like a reality to me. FlyQuest could easily beat Cloud9 unless they're back to form. 100 Thieves versus EG is definitely EG favored, but it could go either way. Guess we have to wait and see. Love the casting, Azale. Then I could. That's not one I would, but let's say it was like really good and positive, I would like it, and I might even say something like, oh yeah, good take, blah blah blah, and then that way this person would actually like check out my profile and most likely follow me because I work for Golden Guardians, and if I want to increase my followers, right? Maybe one thing I should be adding to this is actually like people that are trying to get jobs in esports. So like esports jobs, I can add that. Add a column, search, and then I could be interacting with people that are looking for esports jobs. That is something that I could do. So this is how I use Tweetdeck. And this is one of the easiest ways to just like get a huge stream of information and to figure out who to interact with. I think this is super, super powerful. And you could always just tweet from here too. You can manage multiple accounts. The only thing is you can't do GIFs in here easily, which is really, really painful actually. What other tool? Oh, Twitter. So yeah, let's Tweetdeck. And then advanced Twitter search is really powerful if you're looking for specific things. The way you find that, I actually have a bookmark, but you'd go to search, and then it's actually really annoying. I have to do that and then click on advanced search. So this gives you like key phrases that you could get really, really specific or really broad with, search by certain accounts. So if I wanted to really stalk someone and all their tweets about a specific person, I can do that.